guys, it's Buddha and in a number of my videos I've talked about the ruling elite, but I haven't gone into a lot of detail, and I think it's important because a lot of times people hear that term and they kind of dismiss it out of hand. It kind of flies in the face of our notion of democracy that we seem to have in this country, at least the perceived notion that we have a democratic system. And a lot of people just think, you're just full of shit when you say something like the ruling elite. What I'd like to do is give you two tools that I think can help in exploring this system of things and the interlocking nature of it. I'd like you to come away with the understanding that the capitalist class in this country work together rather than compete. So to give this some historic context to begin, I'll start with a quote from Adam Smith from The Wealth of Nations. "We rarely hear, it has been said, of the combinations of masters, though frequently of those of workmen. But whoever imagines upon this account that masters rarely combine is as ignorant of the world as of the subject. Masters are always and everywhere in a sort of tacit but constant and uniform combination, not to raise the wages of labor above their actual rate." Now this gets back to the things I've talked about in other videos, the notion that people with property join together and form what we call states. They do this, as Madison pointed out, at the Constitutional Convention to protect the minority of the opulent from the majority. That is, they actively seek to protect the rich from the poor. Now your immediate reaction to all this will probably be a knee-jerk reaction to the notion of a conspiracy. But that's not what I'm talking about, really. There's nothing really secret about what I'm going to tell you, and I don't believe this system of things is propped up by some deep, dark, secret plot that we can't understand. Most of what the ruling elite do is legal. They make the rules. But we should take some time to understand the interconnectedness of their interests and how that plays out in our lives. So try and avoid the knee-jerk reaction. I'm not trying to sell you any nutty conspiracy theory. I'm just trying to provide you with information that I think will help you in better understanding this. The first piece of this puzzle is the social register. Chances are you don't have a subscription to the social register, and you probably have a better shot at winning your state's lottery than getting in the social register. I snooped around online and was able to find an online copy of a St. Louis social register from 1925. Now before I get into that, I should explain what the social register is exactly. I'll include links in the sidebar where you can peruse the register I'm talking about, as well as learn more about them. The social register is a directory of names and addresses of prominent American families who form the social elite. If you do a quick Google search, you can actually find copies, more recent copies, to purchase. I found one from the 1990s up for purchase. I may even pick one up, who knows. Today, the social register is released annually on a single national directory, published in winter and summer editions from New York by the Forbes magazine. Those aspiring to be listed must be sponsored by at least 5 individuals currently appearing in its pages. Those sponsored are reviewed by an advisory committee that has the final decision. About 5% of suggested names are added each year. This is obviously an old copy, just about 83 years old, so you might be wondering how relevant it could be to the task at hand. Well, I'm just going to spend a few moments to show you page 20, where you will find the names of people you are all familiar with. The Bush family. Also, right above the Bush family are the Bush family of Anheuser-Busch, the beer company, which we're all familiar with. Mr. and Mrs. Prescott Bush. This is the grandfather of our current president. Now, there's no dark, sinister conspiracy here. He's listed in the social register, his name, his wife's name, their address, and phone number. You don't actually see the phone number on this page, but a glance at the rest of the entries should make it clear that phone numbers are also given. What you can also learn from this social register are what clubs Prescott Bush is a member of, what degrees he may have, etc. We can also see Prescott's wife's maiden name, Walker. George Herbert Walker Bush was our 41st president. Notice how her maiden name remains alive and strong even today. Another thing I want to point out is that while it is extremely difficult to get in the social register, every president and his wife are entered into it. So we can guess that Bill and Hillary Clinton grace more modern editions. From figures I can find, it's estimated about 25,000 people are listed. Of those, some are children. Children can be listed once they are 13 years old. I don't think it takes much imagination to guess what the purpose of that is. Some have jokingly called it a stud book. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I will guess that the Clintons were probably not listed in the social register before his election. If someone knows otherwise, please let me know, but I'd like you to think about what that would mean to a person. You've just been elected President of the United States of America. You are now part of the most exclusive club in the world. The most powerful people on earth. You have their phone numbers, they have yours. What do you think that means for democracy? Now, the next tool I want you to check out is actually kind of fun. It's a website called theyrule.net. From its website, we get the following description. The They Rule aims to provide a glimpse of some of the relationships of the U.S. ruling class. It takes as its focus the boards of some of the most powerful U.S. companies, which share many of the same directors. Some individuals sit on 5, 6, or 7 of the top 500 companies. It allows users to browse through these interlocking directories and run searches on the boards and companies. The user can save a map of the connections, complete with their annotations and email links to these maps or to others. They Rule is a starting point for research about these powerful individuals and corporations. Okay, I just wanted to give you guys a flavor of the theyrule.net website because I really do think it's that cool. There are other websites that provide this kind of information. What's neat about this website is that it's interactive, and you know, based on your own interests and curiosities, you can find links that may be of interest to you, and so that's pretty cool. Over in the left-hand corner here, we have kind of like a list of choices: companies, directors, institutions, load map, which I definitely recommend. You can look at other maps of linkages that other users have created. Some very cool stuff there. Just for our intents and purposes, to give you a flavor of this, I'm going to go to companies, click on Halliburton, and when you click on a company, a little icon like this pops up, and it gives you choices. Website. You can go to the Halliburton website. You can search Halliburton on various websites, and what I'm going to do here is click on directors. You click on directors, and the names and lists of people who sit on the board of directors of Halliburton shows up. And kind of funny little thing they did is the fatter people, the fat cats, men and women, typically sit on other companies, and that's what I'm clicking on now. And you can see that the board members of Halliburton also sit on the boards of other companies. And these aren't mom and pop operations here. These are huge multinational corporations that most of you are familiar with, like Walt Disney. Some of the others are PepsiCo, ExxonMobil, American Electric, Citigroup, AT&T, Pfizer, Lyondell Chemical, and Myrant. So these are pretty powerful individuals, and of course you can imagine the board members of AT&T sit on other boards, and there aren't that many huge corporations that actually control this economy when you think about it. And these people meet together, they holiday together, they are in social contact with each other, they go golfing together and whatnot. This isn't there's nothing conspiratorial about this. It's no more conspiratorial than the fact that I tend to hang out with a lot of carpenters. It's normal, it's natural, but it's not something that we're necessarily that aware of, especially when we think of these things. These are Democrats and Republicans for the most part, and and they back the party that they're closely affiliated with. But you can understand that their interests, they share a lot of interests, regardless of what party they may affiliate with. So, go to this website, have some fun with it, but get become more aware of these interlinked, this interconnectedness among the ruling class.
You may say I'm a dreamer.